What's up, my dudes? We got the 2019 Supercross Glendale race recap. Mainly just wanted to talk about the crazy drama in the 450 race, but I'll run through the little 250 race right quick. There wasn't a whole lot of exciting stuff happened on that. It was pretty much like a run-of-the-mill style race that you can have on a Supercross track. Basically, Cincerillo got out front. And then it was Nichols right there, and you had McElrath right there, and like second and third right around there. Nothing too crazy really happened. Cincerillo just kind of separated itself a little bit from everybody else. Everybody was kind of spread out like a thin sack there. So, yeah, they kind of just raced all the way through the race, and it's pretty much what happened in the 250 class. Nothing really like super worthy of, really coming in here and talking about, but it was what I expected out of Cincerillo from Anaheim 1. So, yeah, it's nice to see him finally, really able to put down the hot laps like I knew he could do. And Cincerillo looks the best I feel like that he's ever looked. I think he's got a really good chance of winning the title. But it was nice to see Nichols back up there, so he kind of proved it wasn't just being fast in the mud, I know that was a big deal where it's like, I feel like when it's a mud race, you got a lot better of a chance of some of those dudes that aren't like quite as fast. They got a lot better of a chance of winning a race in that sense in the mud. And a lot of things can happen to some of your other faster guys out there. So now when it comes to the 450 race, this is one of the craziest, weirdest race nights I've ever seen in my life, dude. Like, there was so much random crap going on. So they all start, right? Roczen gets kind of out front. I was thinking he was just going to pull away with it, finally get his win after all the injuries he's had. I was like, hell yeah, finally Roczen's going to do it. Anderson was up there, which was kind of surprising from how bad he did in Anaheim 1. I was like, wow, Anderson's like really looking good. And it was really surprising to see Barcia and Tomac like deep in the pack and not really moving up too quick. I was like, what the hell? Then all of a sudden, I don't know if they were like 5 laps in or like 10 halfway through or what the hell it was, but Malcolm Stewart, oh my God, he had a hellacious crash through the whoops. Like, I mean, I'm pretty much 99.99% sure he broke his leg in some kind of way. I haven't looked on any of the information on it or any, social media stuff, but I mean, the way he landed, like how hard he basically at the end of that whoop section, wide open, super long whoop section, it just completely hucks and bucks his ass right off the front, and his leg hit right on the face of that next jump coming out of the whoops, and it did not look good. At first, I thought it was like kind of like one of those Josh Hill moments with the leg. I mean, it didn't look good, man. So then they had to red flag it because it was such a gnarly wreck. So the whole race was red flag, which basically means you tighten everybody else back up. Like if your leader, being Roczen in this case, if your leader they could have a, let's just say like a 30-second lead on 5th place in the race or something or whatever. But now when you have to do the red flag restart, everybody's right there staggered together and they all start right there. So it basically super benefits everybody other than the dude that was in the front if they had a lead in that type of sense. And I think it was probably hurt Anderson a little bit. I mean, it helped him and hurt him, but like it should have helped Tomac and Barcia way more. Because they were like in 5th, 6th, like pretty far back. So I was thinking, man, this is really, going to help them be able to get closer up to the front. But I was just shocked by how like mellow Barcia and Tomac were riding at Glendale. I was like, what? I was thinking they were just going to go, right up to the front like Tomac usually does, but he's either trying to ride super consistent or I don't know what the hell, or that just wasn't their kind of track. I don't know. And then after all that, I mean, before all that, Tomac had to go to the damn LCQ. Something went wrong with his bike and damn near had a disaster on the LCQ. All those dudes did damn stoppies right there on the start straight, just trying not to run into Tomac. But anyways, let's get to the actual drama part of it all. I know this is going to be everyone's going to kind of talk about this exact incident that happened here. So after the red flag restart, right, Roczen's in the front. They all start back out. And, of course, Anderson's right on his asshole because of the restart, right? Like, I think if they wouldn't have restarted at all, Anderson would not. Oh, Scheitska. Going right off the track, boy. Like, I don't think if they wouldn't have the restart, I think Roczen would have pulled away with it. He would have won, hands down. I don't think anyone would have had anything for him. And so that's a little bit disappointing that, damn red flag has to happen like that, but it is what it is. You know, you can't sit there and, you know, cry over spilt milk forever. Like, it is what it is, and you got to race with whatever conditions happens. You know, whatever happens, happens. If someone wrecks over a jump and no flaggers are there and you happen to run into them and you're in the lead and they were a lapper, is what it is. You know, it's just kind of, that's the way it is. I mean, you can sit there and look at how it shouldn't have happened this way or should have happened that way or whatever, but racing's racing. Shit happens, bro, you know? So, but basically, Anderson's got the ability to get right on the back of Roczen, and for some crazy reason, Anderson's like all of a sudden riding super wicked tonight. I don't know. It's like a totally different Anderson than what we had at A1. So apparently he's like dusted the cobwebs off or whatever you want to call it, or the nervousness or whatever. So, yeah, anyways, he was right behind Roczen, and Anderson, I mean, honestly, he, like a couple times he would like almost run it in on Roczen, not quite get the pass made. Roczen was just kind of holding steady and all that, but Anderson was just not being real aggressive, not being mean to the guy, just running it in, showing him a will, you know, putting his front fender up in there just a little bit, not like crazy at all. And then one moment after Anderson had been sitting there behind Roczen for, I mean, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 laps right there on his tail, and he just finally went ahead and ran her all the way in there, and basically Roczen turned down like super sharp in the corner, and Anderson's bike was just right there, and it just took out his front end. So any of you guys out there that's looking at that like Anderson did a dirty move, or that was a dirty pass, or he shouldn't have done that, you're a fucking idiot. You do not know motocross and supercross at all if you think that was a dirty supercross pass. You are a literal fucking idiot, and you know nothing about supercross racing if you think that was a dirty move. That was not a dirty move at all. And I'm not some sort of Anderson fanboy and hate Roczen. I like Roczen. I wanted Roczen to win. I think he's awesome. The stuff he's came back from is legendary. Like, I do not have anything against Roczen, but I'm telling you right now, that is the dirtiest looking clean pass I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's not what you think it is. When you go back and actually watch that pass, like, that was not a bad, dirty pass. I think it was just one of those situations where that person in front wasn't really expecting it. Like, I can't believe Roczen didn't hear Anderson. Usually when the dudes are racing Supercross, they can hear when someone's like about to run it up in on them, and they kind of get out of the way a little bit. You know, they kind of run it up higher in the berm, but Roczen turned that motherfucker down so sharp, so far quick down sharp that, I mean, Anderson was just going for a pass. It wasn't like Anderson was going for a takeout or something crazy like that. That's not how that was at all. I'm just telling you, dudes, I've seen a lot of dirty moves in my day, and that was not a dirty pass right there. And Anderson, you don't have anything to try to apologize for in your interview. I know Anderson was like, you know, really like trying to say sorry, and, you know, I shouldn't have passed him like that. Dude, stop. Like, stop trying to apologize. That was not a dirty move. That was, Roczen was in the wrong place at the wrong time and didn't expect you to be right there. And it was almost literally like Roczen turned into Anderson, even though Anderson was passing him. Somewhat similar, but not exact to the, I think that was last year whenever, you know, Monceu went in on the pass on Tomac. And, of course, you're going to have all your Tomac fanboys and all of your Roczen fanboys that are going to freak out. It's like, no, what are you talking about, Spencer? Fuck you. That was dirty. That was so dirty. Like, dog, stop. Like, stop. I'm not a fanboy of any of these people, okay? I'm not a fanboy of Anderson, Roczen, Tomac, Monceu. I don't hate any of them, but I'm not a fanboy of them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. I'm just not. I don't have that kind of, like super fanboy mindset on any of those guys. So I'm very non-biased in this kind of regard. I just look at the incident, look what happened, and see how, like, did that person really, really mean to take out that other person? Because I'm telling you right now, Monceu did not really, really mean to take out Tomac that time. I think that was last year. You know, it was, like, real close, like, last lap or something like that. And it's that occasion where that person in the front turned so damn sharp in the corner And it's like, what do they think's going to happen when someone's right on their tailpipe? Like, what do they think? I don't get it. Like, if you have someone that's right on the back of you trying to pass you, that is not the time to turn sharp in a corner. Period. That's just bad. That's bad on you if you do that when you're in the front. Turn down super damn sharp when someone's right there about to pass you. Like, that's just not smart. Like, you just wouldn't do that. And I'm not trying to sit here and act like, oh, I'm Mr. Professional, like I'm better than Roczen at real life motocross or whatever. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that was not a dirty move. That's all I'm trying to get at here. That was not a dirty move at all. So I just want to make that clear to some people that don't seem to not understand that at all. You have to look at the incident, man. I mean, like, that is so far from being an actual dirty Supercross pass. It really is. That is nothing like what I have seen before, man. Not at all. So either way, I just wanted to kind of get that out there, but Anderson gave him plenty of opportunities. I mean, plenty. It wasn't like Anderson rushed it and just ran it right in there the first. I mean, he followed him for like 4 or 5 laps right on his tail. So don't even try to make that excuse like, oh, Anderson just didn't have enough patience and he ran it in there too fast. No, motherfucker, he had plenty of patience. But Roczen, I simply think it was one of the things Roczen just either wasn't expecting it or I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, but I can tell you one thing, it wasn't a dirty move. So get that shit out of your head if you're somebody that's thinking that, because that's just not right. It's just not right to think of that as a dirty move, in my opinion, because it's not. I mean, if somebody can't even go in for a pass, that, like, it, I mean, good Lord, you can just go back and look at it, dude. Like, all Anderson was doing was going for a pass. He wasn't trying to really bang it up in there and crash Roczen. Like, he's just trying to get around the guy. And on a Supercross track, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know, there's a massive difference between, you can just tell in somebody's demeanor when they're on the track. At least I can anyways. When it's either like a super revenge move or like someone's really, really trying to do something, trying to run it in on somebody, or if they're just trying to pass somebody. You know what I mean? It's totally different, but to the naked eye on someone that doesn't really know Supercross, they wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You see what I'm saying? But if you really know Supercross and you've watched this shit for a long time and you know, you can see it in the demeanor of the person. You know what I mean? You can see it, like how they're actually meaning to pass that person. And sometimes the crash happens anyways, even when they're not really meaning to do it. You know, that's just what motocross is. And even in Roczen's interview, I don't think he was really like, really thinking it was dirty. I think if he goes back and looks at that, he'll realize that was not some dirty-ass pass. And I think the whole reason Anderson was saying, oh, I'm sorry, like, I didn't really mean to do that, like, that was a, you know, dirty pass. I think he's just trying to cover his ass. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to build up any sort of drama because he wants to win another title. That's all he cares about. He ain't, you know, he's just doing everything he can to try to avoid any sort of little drama incident to any degree. So don't, you know what I'm saying? You got to use your brain a little bit, guys. Come on now. Like, you got to be able to think for yourself. And I don't give a shit of what anybody else thinks on this situation. I don't care. I'm going to think how I want to think on it. And that's how I think on it, man. I mean, I can even have Anderson sit there and say in his interview that it was too dirty, and I still don't believe it was too dirty. Like, when you go back and look at it, it just isn't. It just wasn't. It was Roczen turned really sharp in a corner. Anderson was just trying to get the pass made. Nothing was dirty, in my opinion. That was just a wrong place, the wrong time for Roczen, and just not expecting it. I mean, I honestly believe that way. So either way, let's get back to the recap style. That was kind of the drama of the night, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, basically it just kind of simply takes the front end out from Roczen, and he just kind of has a little fall down. Nothing major at all, just, you know, a little fall down the corner, and Anderson just keeps it going. This is really hard to, like, focus on reflex while you're trying to talk at the same time, but yeah, I apologize for hitting some of these lines like super wrong here. Been a minute since I ran on some of these old school reflex Supercross tracks, man. These things are a shitload of fun, dude. Like, oh my god, I love these tracks. But yeah, there's actually like somewhat complex lines you gotta remember and understand. I can hit this up the inside. But anyways, basically, Roczen goes down. He gets back up. I think he finishes like third or something. Or some shit. Yeah, third, I think. Tomac, I think he might have caught back up to fourth or something. Something like that, you know. And then, let's see. Anderson was out front for a while. I was thinking he was just going to take the win. And all of a sudden, like, right there towards the very end, shit, I can jump that all the way to there. Oh my God, I forgot about that huge huck. Then right there at the very end, freaking Blake Baggett comes out of nowhere. He's right there in second, sneaks up, passes Anderson, then Anderson just kind of lets him have it. Not a real fight there. I think Anderson just kind of got it in his head like, all right, we're just going to take a second tonight. Like, no big deal, which I can respect that. You know, no sense really trying to super fight somebody like Baggett that's probably not really going to be a super threat in Supercross. Super, but yeah, either way, that was cool that Baggett, you know, got his first win. I know that's been kind of something he's been dealing with for a while, but he did get it. Yeah, I don't think Baggett would have won had they not had the red flag, but it is what it is at the same time, you know. But either way, that's kind of the whole recap of the night, man. Just wanted to go over my opinions on some of that stuff. Yeah, I think Roczen will get it done pretty soon. He's still got a third. Nothing crazy. I think Roczen's looking probably pretty good in the points. I don't know exactly where he is right now as I'm talking here, but he should be doing good because a lot of your dudes that was way up front at Anaheim 1 were a little further back in the second race, but Roczen's kept it real steady, like a third and a third, or a second and a third, I meant. So he's been right there on the podium both races, so he's probably looking decent points-wise. So if I was Roczen, I wouldn't be disappointed at all about that, even though, yeah, you should have had the win. Who gives a fuck? You got to move on. You got to keep going. Roczen just needs to keep her steady, keep doing that every race, you know, not having any wild incidences or anything like that. Keep it on two wheels. He'll be good. And as far as, you know, Tomac and some of them boys, I think they're just slowly working into it this year, not trying to go out there and, you know, rip their pants off the first couple rounds like they haven't been known for. I think Tomac's just doing everything he can not to do that, right? Not be in a super points deficit, and then I think Tomac's going to turn it on here in the next couple races. I think that's what you're going to see. You're going to see Tomac, Roczen, Anderson, all those dudes you really expected to do good. You're going to see those dudes start turning it on pretty soon, I think. But disappointing for Malcolm. That was definitely an injury and a half for sure, no doubt. So if I can huck this. Damn, overjumped that. That is a huck, dog. Woo! That's a big daddy line. You got to hit that little, you got to scrub that little baby jump before the triple to really huck that up out of there. But either way, man, just wanted to give my opinions on it, and it's coming from somebody that's, I know, like, I sit here and watch, you know, passes and crap all the time. Like, I see it in real life, Supercross, been watching it forever, man. And I'm just saying, that was not some sort of ill will, dirty pass by Anderson. It wasn't, man. So whoever's out there saying that, do not believe those idiots because they don't know what they're talking about. Like I'm telling you, they don't. There's no way they could if they're saying that, because that just wasn't, that was not really a dirty move, man. Supercross are tight tracks. Like, you gotta, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta round somebody. Now, it's totally different when you have like a super revenge move or whatever. But, I mean, even to that, to a certain extent, I think is okay. Like, someone really, really runs it in up on you, it's okay to, you know, return the favor or whatever, but in certain occasions, but I don't know. There's just a different situation for every situation. Everything's, like, situational. You got to have been right there in the moment at that time. There we go, bitches. Fuck yes. Oh, my God, that jump is insane. Oh, man. Yeah, you got to scrub that thing before, like, perfectamundo to hit that right. There's a lot of big daddy lines like that on this track. I'll see if I can hit that one. I think I got to rail that one part around the outside to really be able to do it properly. But, yeah, dudes, either way, don't forget you guys can go follow me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. I got all that stuff, Steam. My name is just Spencer Turley, no space, no capital on all that, so you can go add me up there. Oh, yeah, baby. There we go. That's the hook I was trying to do. Oh, and then I crashed. But you can jump that right there for sure. My name on all that different stuff is just Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. And I'll add you back on it. So, yeah, man, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. And, by the way, you can donate down below if you want to support me. You don't have to. it is what it is. You can do whatever you want to do, but I do read my donations, and if you leave a message in your donation, I read it at the beginning of the next video. So just reminding you guys on that if you want to do that. But yeah, man, appreciate all the support. We're rocking hard on these videos, man, every day. Putting in the work, putting them in the dirt. You know what it is. I'm about to hit you with the work, boy. We're going all in, baby. Spin Sterling 2.0, man. We're doing it every day. So, yeah, appreciate it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.